Tonight on NewsLink Indiana, one U.S. Senator hosted a town hall right here on campus. Why he came and what he had to say just ahead.
And 2 Ball State students were sent to the hospital after a shooting this weekend. I'll tell you what the investigator on the case has to say about the situation.
And a rainy first day of spring was in store in Muncie. NewsLink Indiana begins right now.
Live from the Ball State News Center, this is NewsLink Indiana in high definition.
Good evening and welcome to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Cameron DeBlasio.
And I'm Mr. Bauer. Thank you all for joining us tonight.
Our top story tonight, new developments involving a shooting off campus this weekend that left 2 Ball State students in the hospital. With those updates in the newsroom now is NewsLink Indiana's Logan Rivera. Logan, what can you tell us?
Thanks, Cameron and Nestor. A fun Friday night turned to panic this weekend when an unknown assailant injured 2 people at a party. Muncie police received a call at 12:20 Saturday morning that a single shot was fired on the 600 block of West Queen Street. Police say the evening started with a normal college party, and when an unknown assailant and unwanted guests showed up after seeing the party advertised on social media, a fight broke out, leading to one man being shot in the stomach and another being severely beaten, resulting in a skull fracture. Both men were rushed to IU Health and are currently recovering from their injuries. Muncie investigator Kyle Monroe says despite the recent incidents of gun violence, there does not appear to be a spree of these types of crimes.
I wouldn't say it's any more or less common. This is just a party that got out of control. I mean, parties get out of control. And I've had calls like this before, but I haven't seen any spike in anything.
The assailant was last seen driving away in an older model Ford Explorer XL. We will continue to have these updates as the story progresses. Live in the newsroom, I'm Logan Rivera, NewsLink Indiana.
All right, Logan, thank you for that update. Well, Muncie police have arrested a man in relation to the February 9th murder at a West Main Street apartment. 23-year-old Marcus Hanyard was already in the Delaware County Jail on unrelated charges. Hanyard was taken into custody after a February 19th traffic stop. He was detained for alleged probation violations at that time and has remained in the Delaware County Jail ever since. On the morning of February 9th, Hanyard and 20-year-old Isaiah Anthony Davis intended to rob the occupants of drugs and cash. Hanyard was formally charged in Delaware County Circuit Court 3 with burglary and criminal mischief charges from 2014 allegations.
A new report shows Delaware County has the highest percentage of children living in poverty in the state. The Kids Count in Indiana data book shows that over 31% of children up to the age of 17 were living in poverty in Delaware County. 2015 statistics show that Delaware County is higher than both the Indiana and national average. Delaware County's percentage is now the highest it has been in 5 years.
And Ball State got an up-and-close look at Congress this weekend. Indiana Senator Joe Donnelly held a town hall at Emmons Auditorium this Sunday. NewsLink Indiana's Michelle Kaufman has the story.
U.S. Senator Joe Donnelly held a town hall yesterday in Emmons Auditorium.
I'm the hired help. I work for you. And my job is to try to make this country stronger and better.
Donnelly took several questions from the audience on issues such as health care and the environment.
What I'd like to do is try to improve the Affordable Care Act. And I've told my colleagues, any ideas you have that make it less expensive, easier to use, give you more chances with different doctors, I'm for those.
Another topic that was brought up was the nomination hearings that began today for Associate Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch.
I've gone through his court decisions, read a lot of articles that he's written, and then we have the hearings coming up. And so I'm going to judge it in that overall spectrum.
IU dance educator Stephanie Nugent came from Indianapolis to get her questions answered.
I wish that my question had been a little bit more in depth and that he could have spoken a little bit more to why he feels that funding for the arts is critically important to our culture.
In Muncie, Michelle Kaufman, NewsLink Indiana.
If you would like to send comments or questions to Senator Donnelly, visit donnelly.senate.gov.
Confirmation hearings began for Supreme Court nominee Judge Neil Gorsuch today. If confirmed, Gorsuch would fill the seat of Justice Antonin Scalia, who died in February 2016. Illinois Senator Dick Durbin weighed in on the nomination earlier.
Your nomination is part of a Republican strategy to capture our judicial branch of government. That is why the Senate Republicans kept this Supreme Court seat vacant for more than a year, and why they left 30 judicial nominees who had received bipartisan approval of this committee to die on the Senate calendar as President Obama left office.
Democrats and Democratic supporters remain frustrated over Republicans blocking Obama nominee Merrick Garland last year, even leading to some protests today. But President Trump says Gorsuch is, quote, a man who our country really needs and needs badly to ensure the rule of law and the rule of justice.
It's a very busy week on Capitol Hill with the start of Supreme Court nomination hearings and a House Intelligence hearing about Russia's meddling in the 2016 election. Karen Kaifa has more.
FBI Director James Comey in public testimony before the House Intelligence Committee this morning saying that the FBI has no evidence to back up President Trump's claims on Twitter 2 weeks ago that the Obama administration had the wires tapped at Trump Tower during last year's election.
I have no information that supports those tweets, and we have looked carefully inside the FBI. The Department of Justice has asked me to share with you that the answer is the same for the Department of Justice and all its components. The department has no information that supports those tweets.
Comey also confirmed that the FBI is investigating Russia's alleged interference in the 2016 U.S. election and the nature of any links between the Trump campaign and Russia. This is not the only high-profile hearing on the Hill today. Here on the Senate side, the Judiciary Committee beginning consideration of President Trump's Supreme Court nominee, Neil Gorsuch. In the run-up to these proceedings, Gorsuch met with more than 70 members of the Senate. Some Democrats not satisfied with the depth of the answers Gorsuch gave to questions during those meetings and plan to push harder when questioning begins tomorrow. One area expected to get attention, judicial independence and executive powers, especially as President Trump's travel and immigration ban faces challenges in federal courts. Judiciary Chairman Chuck Grassley says he expects that his panel will vote on the Gorsuch nomination on April 3rd. That would keep Republicans on track to meet their goal of a full Senate confirmation for Gorsuch by the Easter recess. On Capitol Hill, I'm Karen Kaifa.
All right, and taking a look at weather, Cameron, happy first day of spring.
Well, thank you very much, Esther. But you know, it wasn't that nice of a day. I mean, we had rain the entire day, it felt like.
Well, I didn't have any umbrella, so I was scrambling around campus trying to not get wet.
Yeah, I had my umbrella from the minute I walked out of my dorm to the minute I had my last class. So, and I definitely needed it too, for sure.
For sure. Well, we definitely saw those spring showers. Fallon, are those going to be here to stay?
Well, thankfully, you guys, those showers have started to work their way out of the Muncie region. Taking a look at right here, this shows is most of the showers have worked their way east of Muncie towards the Ohio border. And furthermore, a cold week is in store through the midweek. And then also, when do our next chance for rain showers return? I'll have that in my full forecast coming up.
All right, Fallon, thank you very much. Now, a local CEO is being rewarded for giving back to the community. What the award means to him is coming up.
And we'll tell you what strides Ball State is taking to empower female students. All this and more after the break.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
So I've come up with a family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back. Well, happening on campus, Ball State is hosting a week for women. NewsLink Indiana's Jenna Liston has more.
Posters, pins, and inspiration. A week for women to be reminded of who they are. Women's Week at Ball State University, held by Women and Gender Studies, focuses on empowering and motivating women. Graduate Assistant Kirsten Karer described this week as a time for women to pursue their professions and not let anyone hold them down, not even the President of the United States.
So I think that's why it's even more important for us to band together and really look to our role models and keep on persisting.
Ashley Bingham is in charge of organizing the events throughout the week and says the events aren't only important this year, but for years to come.
I think it's always important to highlight women's issues and gender-related issues, not just women's issues. But I think our political climate shows just how severe the issue is and how much we need to actually be active in hearing these stories and hearing these various experiences and various issues.
Women's Week has events throughout the week for students to attend and hear the stories from women on panels and monologues describing their experiences in the world. In Muncie, Jenna Liston, NewsLink, Indiana.
To find more upcoming events, visit the Ball State website under Women's Week.
Well, citizens of Muncie are being awarded for making the community a better place. Meridian Health Services President and CEO Hank Millis has been awarded the 2017 Al Rent Spirit of Muncie Award. This award is presented every year to a Muncie community member who exemplifies good character and enriches the community. Established in 2002, the award honors Al Rent, an active community member and volunteer who died this past January. Millis befriended Rent 15 years ago after appointing him to a position on the Meridian Health Services Board. When accepting the award, Millis said, quote, "It is an incredible honor to receive this award, especially given this award recognizes the contributions made by a dear friend of mine." And the Indiana Department of Homeland Security is encouraging Hoosiers to participate in the statewide tornado drill tomorrow as part of Severe Weather Preparedness Week.
That's right, Cameron. Now, these drills will be at 10:10 a.m. and 7:35 p.m. A test of the emergency alert system will sound both in the morning and the evening on radio, television, and all hazard radios. The Department of Homeland Security recommends that all Hoosiers have weather radios in their homes with working batteries in the event of a power outage.
For more severe weather safety tips, visit getprepared.in.gov. Now, Ballin, I don't suppose we're going to be having any severe weather coming up, are we?
No, we're not. However, we are going to have a warmer day in store for us tomorrow. My full forecast is coming up next.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all.
Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Welcome back. So Esther, we talked about all that rain that we had today, but at least those temperatures were a little bit warmer.
Yeah, it was really nice getting to leave my dorm with just a light jacket. So that made it all the better. Fallon, are these warm temperatures here to stay?
They're going to be in store for us tomorrow. However, we're going to see a brief cooling period throughout the week, and more currently in Muncie, 48 degrees right now, and those winds have settled down compared to what we saw earlier today with those rain showers passing through the region. Quick look at radar here shows that much of the rain showers have already progressed eastward into Ohio that we have seen earlier today. Now, we received over an inch of rain here in Muncie and in Kokomo, an inch and 2/10 in Kokomo and half an inch in Indianapolis. Compare this though to areas in Bloomington where they only saw 2/100ths of an inch, so a drastic variance here throughout the state of Indiana for total amounts of rainfall received with these rain showers. For tonight, though, what to expect: an overnight low of 41 degrees will be mostly cloudy to cloudy with calm winds ranging between 7 to 10 miles per hour. And then what to expect for tomorrow: those mostly cloudy conditions will stick around with a high of 56 degrees, so we'll be continuing to get warmer throughout the week. However, there we will see cooling conditions, and Precision Cast here shows these cloudy conditions are going to stick around through much of the day Tuesday, but by Wednesday overnight hours heading on into the morning hours, we will see clearing conditions. And despite those clearing conditions though, however, we are going to see a drastic change in temperatures here between Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesday's only going to have a high of 38 degrees, so definitely make sure to get those jackets out yet again, sadly, because it's going to be much colder. However, starting Thursday again, we're going to slowly work our way back up into the 60s, a high of 50 degrees for Thursday, however, a low of 24 degrees. Friday is going to be a nice treat to finish off the work week. We'll have a high of 65 degrees with a low of 55. And then our next chances for rain return on Saturday with an 80% chance currently. However, we will have a high of 65 degrees. And then to finish it off on Sunday and Monday, those rain showers are going to stick around. 60% chances right now, and we will have a high of 61 degrees on Sunday and 53 degrees on Monday.
So I definitely enjoy seeing the 60s in that forecast. That looks pretty nice, but I wish we didn't have that much rain, you know?
Well, sadly, those rain showers are looking to stick around, but keep in mind that it is only Monday right now, so as the week progresses, though, this is definitely still subject to change.
Right.
So hopefully we'll see those rain chances decrease, but those temperatures stick around, because on a Saturday with 60s, I'd love to be outside playing sports, wearing shorts, going for a run.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm the public address announcer for the baseball team here, so I would love to have some warmer weather, because their last game was just way too cold for me.
Was it?
Oh yeah, it was terrible. I mean, so talking about that, then sports, we have Amanda.
And March Madness is in full swing, so give us an update on what's going on in sports.
Yes, well, I hope that your brackets aren't too busted like mine after that Duke loss last night, but just like my Blue Devils, Ball State's basketball season is over, but Cardinal fans are already looking forward to next season. Ahead in sports, you'll meet a new member of the men's basketball team who is set to contribute next year.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Hey everybody, well after last week's loss in the first round of the CIT, the Ball State's men's basketball season came to a close. But the future of the program does look bright. 7 of the 9 players on this year's rotation will return to next year's team, plus another big addition. Peter Hood has the story.
First, it was Jeremiah Davis, then Ryan Weber, then Taylor Persons. All Division I transfers who have helped turn the Ball State basketball program around. Now another, Jontrell Walker, is ready to leave his mark in Muncie.
Oh, very exciting. I'm ready to get out there because I believe we can be something very special.
Walker sat out this year after transferring from Incarnate Word. He averaged over 12 points per game as a sophomore, and when he decided to transfer, several schools pursued him. But there was one thing that made Ball State stand out.
Their development program is very huge, and when I heard that and I seen their development program and I seen the numbers of their previous players, I wanted to be a part of it.
As for what sold head coach James Whitford on Walker,
he was very humble. I thought he was very honest about the fact that he had made some mistakes while he was there, and it was important to me that he acknowledged and addressed them, and I think that's just part of growing up. And he wasn't down there pointing fingers or blaming or any of those things. He was kind of matter-of-factly speaking about the situation and acknowledging that he wasn't perfect by any stretch, and he knew he had some areas to grow in.
And that's exactly what Walker has tried to do in his year off. Grow, off the court and on.
Well, it was funny because I was really focusing on my athleticism and my quickness and things like that, but I ended up finding out I really learned how to play the pick and roll a lot better. You know, I learned just the little gaps, the bounce passes, and little things that are very important in playing the game and just talking and, things like that. And once I seen that, once I got getting better in that area, I started seeing my growth as an all-around player.
He's done a good job. The thing about Jontrell is he's working when you're not looking. Like when we're gone, he's getting extra lifts in. He's really working with Robes on getting his quickness, trying to get a little bit faster. I know he comes in to get extra shots when he needs to. So he's doing a lot of extra work on his own, which is, I think, real important part of getting better.
Walker will jump into the rotation next year on a team that has won 20-plus games 2 years in a row. And you bet he expects that kind of success to continue.
I feel like next year we can definitely get up to a big jump and a very good record. Hopefully we can start off at 10-2 or 11-3, just really shock the world. I believe we can be that special as long as we can continue to work hard and play together as a team.
In Muncie, Peter Hood, NewsLink, Indiana.
I've gotten to see Jontrell Walker practice. I'm telling you, this guy's the real deal. He's got the speed, he's got a killer jump shot, and I think that, losing Ryan Weber and a couple of the other seniors, he's really going to be able to come in for the Cardinals and add that little spark that they're going to need.
Well, it definitely is sad to see that the season is done for this year, but it's awesome to see Ball State attracting so many talented players.
Yeah, they recently just added Zach Gunn to their team for next year. He was looking at IU and Butler, but he chose to come here to Ball State. So I think that James Whitford and the rest of the Cardinals are going to have a good season next year.
I cannot wait. We are so excited.
For sure, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Amanda, thank you so much. And coming up, this kids show is known for being inclusive of everyone. Find out what they're doing to include people with disabilities.
Plus, Julie Andrews is taking over the world of Netflix. Your entertainment news is next.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to theshelterpetproject.org and meet if you are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener and loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to theshelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Samantha Ayersman with your entertainment news. Sesame Street is adding a new character to its cast. Julia is an autistic character with orange hair. The show, which has been on air for nearly 50 years, has been known for being inclusive with its characters. One of the show's writers, Christine Ferrero, hopes that Julia will educate viewers about autism. The first episode featuring Julia will discuss what autism can look like. Ferraro has also said about the character, "I would love her to be not Julia, the kid on Sesame Street who has autism. I would like her to just be Julia." Sesame Street is not the only show involving puppets. Netflix recently unveiled the first entire season of the children's series Julie's Green Room. The show stars Julie Andrews and puppet characters including a dog, a duck, and 5 children. Celebrity guests will join the series to help Andrews teach children how to stage a musical. This series will feature a musical about an ogre who steals his kingdom's music, dance, and writings. A reoccurring theme in Julie's Green Room is Andrews stating the show must go on. And speaking of the show must go on, Burris School will be putting on a performance of Beauty and the Beast Jr. this weekend. Opening night is March 24th and the final show is on March 26th. There will be one showing at 7 p.m. on Friday. Saturday showtimes are 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. and the Sunday show is at 2 p.m. It is directed by Ball State Theater professor Michael Dane. The show includes K through 12 students and tickets are available at the school. That's all for your entertainment news. Now back to you at the desk.
All right, entertaining stuff as always. Samantha, thank you. A final look at weather today.
Well, the one thing I can tell you is that tonight we're going to see more average for this time of year temperatures. Usually we're at the lower 40s for this time of year. Overnight, you could expect an overnight low of 41 degrees with overcast to mostly cloudy skies. Winds will be calm as well, ranging between 7 to 10 miles per hour. Then sending the kids off to the bus stop tomorrow morning, you can expect a temperature at 7 a.m. to be 41 degrees, and by the time they return, they will be at 54 degrees. Then taking a look one last time at our 7-day forecast. Tomorrow we will reach a high of 56 degrees, and then Wednesday will bring a brief cooling period throughout the middle of the week with a high of only 38 degrees despite clear clouds, and then we'll work our way back up to the 60s by Friday, so that's going to be a nice treat to end off the work week. And then our next chances for rain return Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, but we will be in the 60s this weekend despite those rains, you guys.
So kind of going to cancel out the negatives of the rain, for sure.
So at least in my perspective, I'd say that having 60 degrees at this time of year, when seeming how last year we were still talking about snow at this time of year, right. I'll definitely take rain and 60s over that any day.
All right, Ballant. Well, thank you so much. And that's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to watch tomorrow night at 9 right here on Cardinal Vision or online at ballstatedaily.com.
And be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Have a great night.
You've been watching NewsLink Indiana in high definition.